Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. This is the 10th day of the Vaisakhi countdown, and today I thought I would talk a little bit about what I've been thinking about, which is the idea of embodiment. Not as an ending or starting point specifically, but as a way in which we connect with the Guru and with our history. So, for example, we've been working on the State of the Month report on the 5 Ks into the Stad, and what we found is that when Gish is invoked in Barney, it's used in multiple ways. It's used to describe a Konkar, it's used to reference a show of respect or remembrance, and it's used to subvert ideas of external displays of religiosity through garb or uniform. So the use of Gish then points to this larger sense of embodiment, of the divine as the beautiful one with long hair, for example, of the humility of the devotee as they dust the feet of the saints with their hair, such an intimate act, and of the seeker as permeated with remembrance, such that it pours out of every pore of them, every hair of them. But Bani also nuances and complicates embodiment. We're not sort of told that embodiment is the starting or ending point. We're told that like those external displays of religiosity, those physical displays are not enough, right? If we're not working on internally developing the divine virtues and then changing our behavior. And that brings me to this Puran Singh quote that I often come back to, where he writes on embodiment, and he says of the Guru, "He touched my hair and I keep it. When I toss my arm up in the air and the iron ring shines, I'm reminded of his wrist that wore it, one exactly like this. Is this arm, by some stray gleam of the iron ring on my wrist, his? Other religions live in an elaborated symbolism. I, the Sikh, have no religion. He loved me, he made me his own. The sword is the mind where the Guru lives. The iron ring is the sign of his remembrance. The tresses of hair are as clouds, round as a snow peak. They always gather, gather. They always rain, rain." And I've been thinking about that kind of in conversation with Harinder Singh's article on the Nash Doctrine, which if you haven't read, please do. But, we know the kind of history of Vaisakhi. In 1699, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib spoke to the gathering at Anandpur Sahib and initiated the 5 lovers, the Panch Pyare, to the order of the Khalsa. And one of the gifts that the Guru gave us on that day was the Nash Doctrine, this idea or this principle that all of the previous things that have tied us to particular expectations, societal status, are destroyed, right? So previous occupations, family ties, earlier creeds, karma, and like superstitions, all these things that kind of cause us to operate from a place of fear. We were freed from those things, and we were given new values and ideals and practices and a sovereign identity. And I've been thinking a lot about that because related to sort of embodiment, I've wondered what it looks like to honor the principles and the gift of the Guru from Vaisakhi 1699 in our actions, in our behavior, at a time when things feel so tense and fraught. And so, like, what does it look like to really embody that transformation of 1699, to really break from fear in our behaviors and in our thoughts? And it brings me back to, bear with me, Puran Singh talking about the politics of the Guru, who says, "No man or society that has risen from the dead into the life of the spirit can tolerate political subjugation or social slavery to unjust laws or rules. Politics in the sense of fighting against all social injustice, all tyranny, all wrong taxation of the poor, all subjugation of man to man, were the politics of the Guru. Without freedom, no true religion or art can flourish anywhere. Human love, too, degenerates if freedom fails." That's from Spirit of the Sikh. Both of the quotes from Puran Singh are from the first one's from Spirit Born People, this one's from Spirit of the Sikh. So I'm wondering what it means to emulate the politics of the Guru at a time of the genocide of the Palestinian people, the purposeful starvation of the Palestinian people. We are operating from a place of fear. We don't talk about it too much. And coming from the American context or any of the Western contexts, we know that our governments are pouring money into this genocide, right? So what is our role if we really want to emulate the politics of the Guru and really honor the principles that Vaisakhi 1699 reminds us of, not in the abstract, but in a real and lived way, in an embodied way. And so, you know, a couple of Vaisakhis ago, I was thinking about what that looks like in the context of the injustices that COVID sort of uncovered. And now I'm thinking about it in terms of the injustices that we've seen absolutely done with impunity. And so I'm wondering what it looks like to be a lover of the beloved, to honor the principles of Vaisakhi 1699. I think one of the most beautiful things about our traditions is that the historical is not ever really the historical. The past is not just past. We bring the past into our remembrance in a lot of collective moments, and we do this as practice, right? When we recite Ardas as a Sangat, we're not just asking for something, we're also remembering so much. And there is something quite powerful to that embodiment of our history that we do collectively. I was talking to one of the other people on the 201 team a while ago, and we were talking about the way it feels like the Guru is always with us, the way it feels like our people are with us always. I told her how sometimes, like, when I close my eyes, even in a Sangat of like 10 or 20 or 30, I can hear a chorus of hundreds. There are these like layered harmonies that feel like they're coming from somewhere that is both like heard and unheard. And I feel like it's that circularity of time made manifest in the fullness of that sound. Sometimes, yeah, we were talking about like sometimes when we close our eyes, we can like hear a jagada somewhere in the distance. And I know that maybe sounds funny, but I think that it's true. And I think that the Guru walks with us today and tomorrow and all days. And I think that it's important to think about how the Guru freed us and how they asked us to be brave and how they gave us a choice to fight for each other and what that really means, because we tend to just sit in the abstract. What that really means is a radical upending of our systems and our institutions. It means imagining a better world, but moving beyond imagining and fighting for it today and tomorrow and all days. And it also means that even when things feel impossible or full of dread, we keep going. Things have felt impossible before, but we bloomed then. And we're blooming now, and we'll continue to bloom. And so I guess my urging to all of us is to really think about what Vaisakhi means to us in a way that is not abstract. And for me, it looks like really embodying the politics of the Guru. And it feels like such a beautiful gift that this is part of our history and our tradition, and we get to access this and connect with this. So yes, we will continue to bloom. We will continue to bloom. Happy Vaisakhi, everyone. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.